While you're relaxing and waiting for the next show to begin, visit our snack bar. The next show will start in 5 minutes. The next show will start in 4 minutes. The next show will start in 3 minutes. The next show will start in 2 minutes. The next show will start in 1 minute.
Never break your thumb pick 1 minute before getting on stage.
I'm Vivian Vance, and that was Mr. Oster's theme. Mr. Oster is the protagonist of a good old-fashioned concept album I made called 10 and 1, details of which you will be pummeled with in just a few minutes. Happy day after Mother's Day. I hope there are no Hallmark cards I should have bought for today, because I didn't. Greetings from the Stevie Coyle and Valerie May high-tech video production and webcast facility / our spare bedroom. This is the Monday night thing, and so yes, I think you're in the right place. It's Monday, it's May 10th, and even though you folks remembered to tune in an hour and a half earlier than usual, that's certainly not to say that your face friends did. Especially your friends on the East Coast. So tell you what, if you want to take just a moment, you Facebookers, to share this stream to your Facebook timeline, to your wall, as we used to say, or maybe direct message a friend or two, feel free, go ahead, nobody's going to mind. I won't play anything good until you get back. Oh, and those of you on YouTube, those of you logging in on YouTube, do feel free to hit that subscribe box and maybe even hit the little bell icon to get notifications whenever this channel goes live. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed to all the well-wishers for your congratulations on the reopening of Mighty Fine Guitars here in Lafayette, California. It's very exciting and very satisfying to be back open. So come on in if you can. The shop is open for retail. Here's the hours. Jot this down. The shop is open for retail on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. It's open for lessons only on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, closed Sundays and Mondays. And if I do say so myself, there's a wealth, a cornucopia, a plethora, if you Protestants will pardon the Latin, of world-class guitars in there right now, including, but not limited to, Olson, Tippin, Loudon, Franklin, Goodall, Lewis, Santa Cruz, Vega, Collings, and Martin, of course, who is actually an unwitting sponsor of tonight's show. Thank you, Martin. And that mention brings us to the topic of tonight's guest, who is a dyed-in-the-wool Martin fan himself, Mr. Mark Lemaire. He's not only a stellar fingerstyle guitarist, but a wonderful singer, songwriter, and composer as well, and he too will be along in just a few minutes. Mark and I are busking tonight. The virtual guitar case is laid on the curb here, and while donations are not expected, they certainly are welcome. So surprise us. And Mark and I will split any proceeds that go to the PayPal and Venmo links down below here. So you PayPals and you Venmothers, here are the links. And as always, the magic number around here is 20. You know this rap. Except those of you perhaps joining us from Mark Lemaire's Pan-Galactic Fan Club who've not seen one of these before. Welcome in particular to you. The magic number around here is always 20. With any $20 tip jar donation, you get a free CD. See how that goes? Kind of magical. The CD is my 10 and 1 CD, and here it is now. Now, please, if you do donate $20, that is, please type in your mailing address so I can expedite the shipping of your free CD. And you get not only me, but Mike Marshall, Philip Auberg's on there, Kendrick Freeman, Teresa Taduri, Corinne West, Kit Walker, Sam Bevan, Hank Roberts on cello. Good heavens, Kit Walker on keys, Rachel Tree on vocals, they're all on there. Dr. Robbie Virus on theremin. There's a theremin slap guitar steel dual goes on in there at one point. And Walter Strauss, of course, who produced the album, plays baritone guitar, regular guitar, and contributes vocals. It's a real cast of thousands endeavor, which is remarkable considering that it started off as a polite little fingerstyle guitar record. Pretty much fun, if I do say so myself. Excuse me, so dry. Well, the year was 1938, marked down from 1942. And this song was written by Irving Berlin, and it was a big hit that same year for Ray Noble, Ethel Merman, Sammy Williams, and his three naturals. Not just Sammy Williams, but his three naturals as well, and Louis Armstrong. Now that is a hit right there. Take away my hi-hats, take away my favorite tie, take away my white spats, I'll still get by. But my walking stick, you simply must let that be. I mean, you can't take that away from me. Without my finger picks. Without my walking stick, I'd go insane. I can't look my best, I feel undressed without my cane. Must have my walking stick, 'cause it may rain. When it pours, I can't be outdoors without my cane. If I ever left my house without my walking stick, well, it would be something I could never explain. The thing that makes me click on Lover's Lane would go for naught if I were caught without my cane. If I ever left my house without my walking stick, well, it would be something I could never explain. The thing that makes me click on Lover's Lane would go for naught if I were caught without my cane. Without my finger picks, I'd go insane. I can't look my best, I can't sound my best without my picks. If I ever left my house without my walking stick, well, it would be something I could never explain. The thing that makes me click on Lover's Lane would go for naught if I were caught without my cane. Would go for naught if I were caught without my cane. Oh, yeah. Irving Berlin, 1938. The year was 1938. Ducky, do we have any comments or questions that need addressing instantly? Folks, how about a hand, please, for our own executive producer, my own dear Miss Valerie May. She's doing this. I'll show you. She's rocking out. Terrific. If you do have any comments, questions, requests, muttered threats, feel free to type them in. We'll stay tuned. I don't think the people on Facebook can see the people on YouTube, and that's perhaps just as well. You know how things are split in this country these days. Everything is so divisive. Any comments are considered divisive, even if they're constructive criticism. I'll zip my lip and proceed. Do you know what? Tonight's show is brought to you by, unwittingly, like I said, is brought to you by the Martin Guitar Company. I was back there, according to YouTube, where I had to download this video from. Apparently I was there 10 years ago. You can tell in the video the hair is darker. And I had a remarkable experience there. I was getting the tour from Dick Boak, who I'd met at many festivals and knew from probably Griffin before that, Griffin Stringed Instruments in Palo Alto, where I used to work. He gave me the tour. He said, you know, here's the factory. Take a look around there. And that was quite remarkable. He said, I got to do a few little things here and there. We'll have some lunch pretty soon, but go into the museum and take a look around, and I'll be in there in just a little bit. So I went in there, and I thought, this is the Holy Grail right here. This is Mecca and Medina, if you'll pardon the expression. You enter the museum, and you take a left, and there, right there in the glass enclosure, is the first Martin made in America. It's that one you've seen on the covers of Martin books, those big hardcover coffee table books. And there it was. I thought, holy smokes, that's just astonishing. How about that? That's the first one made in America. And then there was one that was made for Hank Williams. And then there was one, Neil Young's guitar was in there. Crosby, Stills and Nash, all these guitars. Perry Bechtel, all these famous guitars, sitting right there, the real things. These were not casts. I don't think you can do that with guitars like you can with dinosaur bones. These were real guitars. And I wandered through the museum and was kind of chatting back and forth with this nice Canadian couple that was taking the museum tour the same day I was. They came down pretty much specifically to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania to take the tour, and then we were going to turn around and go back to Canada. So there I was kind of walking through, chatting with them, and there was at the time, 10 years ago, who knows what it's like now, a little sit-down place in the middle where you can rest, where old folks can rest their weary bones and take the second half of the tour. And I was sitting there gabbing, doing this and that, and I heard behind me kind of a clanking sound, keys clanking, and then clanking on glass, and then beep, 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 beep. And then was chatting and chatting and chatting, and pretty soon there's a tap on my shoulder. And Dick Boak hands me that first Martin made in America, and here comes the video.
1834.
Get out of town. Can you believe that?
It was made by C.F. Martin Sr. in New York City, within months after he arrived in the United States. It's wonderful.
It looked like the action was really, I was looking at it behind the glass. For such an old instrument, I couldn't. It's right there.
It's a player.
Well, they were the best guitars available. Ragtime hadn't been invented yet.
All this anomalous music.
Oh, but CF would be, he'd be very proud.
Oh,
The strings are Lamb custom.
this is the real gut stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
In guitar terms, it's like playing Stradivarius.
Absolutely. It is.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Unreal, yeah.
Why, hello. That was a rude awakening. How are you? You still there, folks? Nice to see you. Very good. That was my adventure. And then I was supposed to go to lunch, and I was so keyed up and so excited from that, I could barely eat anything. It was just one of the most exciting things I'd ever encountered, and I was just sort of thunderstruck by holding this thing that is a real live instrument from real live then. Somebody had asked a question here before I bring on our special guest. Today is Monday. You know what that means. We're going to have a special guest star. Before I bring on our special guest, somebody had asked about my guitar. This is a Ted Thompson. Somebody else had spotted it. Well done. Not a lot of people know Ted Thompson when they see it, but it is. It's a Ted Thompson T1C. It's a T1 cutaway, kind of a biggish guitar. Surprisingly, because I fancy myself a small guitar liker. Now, the reason I wanted to play you a Martin guitar video in particular this week was because our special guest here is partial to Martin's himself. I wanted to make him feel kind of right at home. So Valerie's gone down the hall to the green room. I hope everything on his rider was there for him. I'll ask him about that the minute he gets out here. Folks, in the meantime, wait a minute, let me get some folks here. Here they are. Would you please welcome our special guest for the evening, triple threat, Mr. Mark Lemaire. Rock on, man. Thank you very much.
Oh,
and he's going to play some, too. I mean, aside from just taking ovations. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Hey, Stevie. A pleasure to be here.
Nice to see you as well. Great.
And I loved hearing you playing that old Martin.
Wow,
Yep.
what a thing. That was, my guest was flabbered completely by that adventure. That was unforgettable. I hope it's unforgettable. If I forget it, just put me out. If I ever forget that, put me out on the ice floe and let me go.
You know, I was talking with a luthier once who was saying that even a new guitar, and this guitar is a 1949
Wow,
Martin
cool.
G28, but even a relatively new guitar like this, any guitar, is in effect hundreds of years old. If
True
you
enough.
count all the tree rings, you know, it's really, you're holding a piece of history that has been repurposed to make music. And that's a special thing.
It is a
really
special thing, absolutely. And that's a wonderful way to think about it. Even a new guitar is hundreds of years old, isn't it?
Yeah, unless you're buying a plastic guitar, but we don't do that here.
No, we don't do that. Good heavens. We don't. No. Mark, will you play us something cool?
Yeah, sure, I'll try. I'll
Great.
start with a song and then we'll do a guitar piece. But this song is about an old girlfriend. Cindy doesn't mind me singing it, my wife, Cindy. Partially, she doesn't mind because she's not the jealous type, but also she knows the entire song is completely fictitious. So I'm free to do whatever I want as long as I'm making it up. This is called Missoula. Yellow moon rising, wind out of the north, reminds me of my past. Reminds me of Missoula, a girl I used to know, who made me what I am. She opened wide my tender heart, she told me lies for a very long time. She chewed me up, spit me out. Missoula, Missoula, who once was mine. Once I saw that woman walking by herself. She drew me like a fly to a flame. That was the day I lost my way, when I learned Missoula's name. She had me doing her kitchen chores. I scrubbed that floor till I made it shine. She chewed me up, spit me out. Missoula, Missoula, who once was mine. The moon's going down and the bright north star takes me back to my past. I still think of Missoula, I bet she's come far since the day I saw her last. She took my car to the corner store. I gave up waiting after 3 days' time. She chewed me up, spit me out. Missoula, Missoula, who once was mine. Missoula, 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 who once was So that's Missoula.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Are you a Montana boy, Mark?
Oh, no. I was just sitting around with my friend Willie, and we were writing this song. I was in my mid-20s, and we were just trying to come up with something clever. I don't even know if I've been to Missoula.
You know, there are at least a couple of YouTube videos that list you as Montana Mark Lemaire.
I think it was... No, you're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. I never kid, Mark.
It must be... Oh, yes, you do.
I do, yeah.
You have a highly developed sense of humor.
But really and truly, as I was looking around for videos of you and doing deep research on your sordid past, I saw that some people had called you Montana Mark, at least a couple of them, as I recall.
I find that completely amusing.
Oh, how about that? That's hilarious. I wonder who did that.
I'll take it. You're not really a celebrity until people are spreading shit about you that isn't true.
That's true. That's true fact. Yeah, that's right. Can we quote you on that, Mr. Lemaire?
Yeah.
Very good.
The press never gets it right. I'm so misunderstood.
At least they sometimes spell your name right. I think they spelled Lemaire correctly, which is pretty good, I guess.
Generally, the police get it right because they usually look at my driver's license when they book me.
Yeah.
But in general, Lemaire means the mayor of a town. I used to, yeah. Lemaire. That's French for the mayor. Now, I used to think that we were related somewhere to, a politician in France. But my brother Paul went back to France to check out the family tree or something, and he discovered that it's quite a common name there. And that's because in the 19th century, if you were an unwanted baby, instead of being left at the orphanage or the convent, you were left at the mayor's house.
I see. Oh, my.
So I actually do have a sordid past. I just don't know what it is.
I knew it. I could feel it. And I'm glad you outed yourself on that.
I'm actually a very dangerous person.
Yes, you are, Mark. Absolutely. One can tell. That was terrific. You were using a lot of, now some of the guitar nerds in the crowd, I'm sure I'm asking this question for them, a lot of false harmonics.
Yeah. First of all, for what it's worth, the guitar is tuned down a half step. So if you find it impressive that I play all these songs in D flat and E flat, it's not that impressive. Just tune it down a half step. But yeah, false harmonics, it's basically, you're slapping it 12 frets above. If I want to do a C chord.
Yeah, give me the screen, Ducky.
That kind of thing. I don't do too many songs like that because just like Michael Jackson when he moonwalks, you can't do it very often.
That's right, huh?
It starts to get old. So,
but it's very cool. And it's very musical. That piece was not all about slapping and tapping. The slapping and tapping and false harmonics contributed to the whole thing, which is terrific, I think.
One of the nice things about playing for you and other musicians, and I understand there are a lot of musicians here today, it's just that musicians understand how much work goes into this.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
And it's so nice to be noticed and to be seen. I'd say that's the gift that we all want to give to our friends, and thank you for the kind words.
Amen. I'll drink to that as well. Oh.
So shall we do another one?
Please do another one. Please do.
Well, let me do a solo guitar piece. Now, this, did you ever see a movie called The Commitments?
Oh, sure.
This was, did you? With the, it was like an Irish movie about some kids that formed a band and tried to make it. They were James Brown cover band. In any case,
Indeed, yeah. Eamon Flynn, as a local guy, played, and there was the woman in that as well. Were both denizens of the Plow and Stars over in San Francisco for many years.
Really?
There. Yeah.
well,
yeah.
the only thing I remember about the movie is when they were going through trying to gather members of to be in their band. They stole the organist out of a church organ. They broke into the church and he was playing on his church organ a thing that sounded like Bach, but if you listened to it for more than a few seconds, you realized he was playing Whiter Shade of Pale by Procol Harum.
Cool.
And I love it when you take a classical piece and you make it, or you make a pop piece and make it sound sort of classical-ish. So this next piece is sort of an intermingling of Procol Harum's Whiter Shade of Pale with Bach's Air on a G string.
Cool.
Because the two of them kind of have a similarity, but they're also not really the same thing. So I decided to call this Air on a Whiter Shade of Pale.
Right.
So, and we're back to regular tuning, that is, albeit a half a step down. That's what we got. And this is Air on a Whiter Shade of Pale, and if your cat likes it, then all the better.
That is quite lovely, Mark. Good heavens. I've never heard you play that.
Oh, I'm glad.
Very successful melding, I'd say. That was terrific.
Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, I should put in. I know that you want to collect those $20 bills. If anybody wants one of Mark Lemaire's CDs, then you can get one of those too for $20. Just designate which one, and then Steve and I will probably send you one of each. He'll send his, and I'll send.
We'll work it out. Absolutely.
We'll work it out, but
You
you know,
bet.
there's guitar solo albums, and if you prefer me not to sing, I have a whole album without me singing at all.
You think of everything.
Well,
Very good. Mark, we have a request. It's all in caps, and it's Freebird, and you'll never guess. You'll never guess who it was from.
my wife.
Well, maybe.
No, I don't think so. She wouldn't do that. But
Her initials
who-
are Cindy Van Empel Lemaire. Hate to.
It is Cindy.
It is Cindy.
Cindy, send me $20,
You're strict.
and I'll give you. Well, I actually don't know Freebird, so there's so many things that I don't know how to play. One of the best things about being me is that I never learned how to do stuff that I don't want to do. So when people request Freebird, it doesn't matter how much money they give me, I can't give it to them.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So
Isn't that great?
back when I started recording engineering, that's my other gig.
Yes, I want to
mostly
ask you about
record-
that as well, please.
Well, it's since around 2000, since around 1998, it's morphed away from doing rock and folk and what have you, and it's almost all classical. I just came back from a week of recording the Santa Rosa Symphony and then the Marin Symphony. Anyway, back in the 80s when I started to cut my teeth as a recording engineer, MIDI was coming in. And for all of you non-musicians, MIDI stands for like Musical Instrument Digital Interface, I think. Anyway, it's a way of controlling a synthesizer with a computer, and I didn't want anything to do with it because I knew that if I learned how to do it, people would start hiring me to be a recording engineer who could operate MIDI. And so I went out of my way, just like Freebird, to not learn how to do it.
Well done. That's the technique right there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit difficult sometimes, as my wife will tell you. Honey, if I'm going to hear any more about Freebird, we're going to talk about this later. So are you joking?
Sorry,
did
Cindy.
she really?
No,
did
she really
do that?
did.
Ah,
Which is great. It's fantastic.
all right.
It's great.
Well, I'll sing a song about relationships then.
Okay,
This
very
one's
good.
yeah. Anybody who's been in a long-term relationship knows how much work it can be, depending on, you know, whether you're going through a time or a hard time or an easy time with your husband or wife. So this one that I wrote last fall, where Cindy and I were really having a hard time, and I was talking with my brother Dan about it, and he said, you know, that he had heard of a shadow wedding. I said, what's a shadow wedding? He said there's some radio, somebody was interviewing. He said it's like the opposite of the kind of wedding that people think you're going to have, which is, you know, you're married in a sunlit glade and you're dressed in white and everybody's smiling. He said this is the part where you marry the dark side of your partner and they marry your dark side.
Whoa.
You get married out in the dark by the dumpster in the rain wearing your fat suit. And that's when the marriage, as they say, really can begin. When you've married the part that you didn't think you were going to marry.
Did you actually rhyme dumpster and fat suit in your song? I'm just curious. I don't wanna
Dumpster
spoil
was
anything.
in the lyrics, but it was weeded out by my songwriting group.
I see.
Dumpster didn't make it, but some elements did.
Fascinating.
so-
Please continue.
Well, yeah, well, this is how you like it. Cindy's learning the harmony just to show you that no matter what I write, there's never any hard feelings. She thinks it's one of my better songs, and we're planning to perform it soon, but she's not here tonight. So if she was here, you could hear the harmonies. So this is called Shadow Wedding. I'll marry First time in white and now in black. Meet me tonight, we'll stand outside in the rain and the cold and vow to love the worst of us both. Carry the dregs of my grandiose dreams, my beautiful loser, and I'll receive your angry achiever who can't let go. Now we know the worst of us both. A good night for a shadow wedding. Marry the bone to the blood. A good night for a shadow wedding. We'll vow to lay down the gloves and embrace the riddle of love. Of love. Uninvited guests appear, faces from my earliest years, the fears of my mother, the tears of my dad, woven through the man I am. Your grandma's picture locked in a drawer, it's your face years before you were born. Like a maid of honor, she's bringing to you something borrowed, something blue. A good night for a shadow wedding. Marry the bone to the blood. A good night for a shadow wedding. We'll vow to lay down the gloves and embrace the riddle of our love, of our It's easy to marry in a sunlit glade, smile to smile, face to face, but backs to the wall, blinded by smoke. Would you vow to love the worst of us both? A good night for a shadow wedding. The bone to the blood. A good night for a shadow wedding. We'll vow to lay down the gloves and embrace the riddle of our love. Of our love. We'll marry the bone to the blood and embrace the riddle
Just lovely. Great stuff.
I'm
Valerie's
glad you
clapping
like
too, and so are folks at home, I'm sure.
Now, for the guitar nerds out there, the weird thing about this song, as you may know, it's very difficult to get an E flat or a B flat out of a guitar with open strings. And I love to play with open strings, like most folk guitarists do. But they're kind of stuck with this B flat or this one. And E flat's a real nerve-wracking situation. There's an E flat. Here's one. But they don't sound very folky. They're all closed. So here, that is E flat. And here's B flat. E flat, B flat. So this song for guitar nerds, for me, was an exercise in how do you work E flat and B flat into a song. Here's another. That's an E flat with a fifth on the bottom. But anyway, I beat my E flat and B flat jinx with that song.
That's great. Did you catch that, folks? You can rewind this, you know. You can go back and look at these videos later on. I'm going to, just to see, make sure I got that right, because that sounded really cool. An E flat and a B flat with open strings. Yeah, sign me up.
E flat, B flat. And then this is a C. But I bet you knew that C. This C is not so exotic.
Yeah. Right.
But it goes with B flat.
Yes, it does. I feel a song coming on.
Anyway.
Yeah. Tell us more about your guitar while you're nerding out there, Mark. What's you said it's a 49?
It's a 49D28, which for all of you guitar nerds out there means that the back and sides are Brazilian rosewood, which are Brazilian rosewood is really, in many people's opinion, the best wood for back and sides of a guitar, but Martin stopped using it because they couldn't get it anymore around 1969, which was a long time ago. You still have Brazilian rosewood in some guitars, but it's fabulously expensive. I know a luthier who builds $20,000 guitars, but if you want Brazilian rosewood, it's another $12,000.
Crikey, that's the upcharge.
That's the charge.
Yeah.
So I get to play Leo Buendia. Makes fantastic guitars. My understanding is a waiting period of several years just to have the chance to buy one of his $25,000 or $30,000 guitars. And if I won the lottery, or if you film our tip jar, that's the first place I've
one
had
or
it.
the other. Exactly.
I don't know which one would be more lucrative, but I know which one is coming soon.
Yes.
It's not it's not the lottery.
Speaking of the tip jar, there's the information, Mark. There's the tip jar information for our viewers. It's paypal.me/Stevie Coyle, or on Venmo, just Mighty Fine Guitars. And like I say, Mark and I will split everything that comes in.
This is a strange thing on the internet because you get to watch us. Now, if we were in a show together, splitting on stage, Stevie and Mark, you'd probably pay $20 just to get in.
Wouldn't you? I would. I'd pay $20 to see us, Mark.
I'd get to see us for free, but I'm special. Everybody else would pay $20.
That's right.
And you would then pay another $15 to get a CD. But today, and today only,
That's right.
you don't even have to drive anywhere. And you can, for $20, get the show and a CD.
Exactly
Or you
right.
could just be a cheapskate and watch us for nothing, which is fine.
That's right. Just
We're
skate.
used to being abused. We're musicians.
That's it. Yes, yes. Where the glamour just never begins, the life of the performing musician.
We make music because we love to, but if we had to hold down a day job, we would have less time to do what we love.
Precisely
so it helps
right.
if you help us out.
So think of all the ways this works, and especially since we've we've been locked up for 14 months in close quarters. There's a lot of bad karma to work off, and this is a great way to exercise that old adage, as my grandmother used to say: "You need the karma more than you need the cash." So, something to consider.
Your grandmother said that?
No, I just made that up.
I was going to say, that is not something my grandmother... She never used the word karma, I don't think.
I don't think mine did either.
But that's okay. We can pretend. So have we time for one more? Or do
Oh,
we,
good
what
heavens,
is
yes,
the
we have time for
timing
one more.
here? How do we do this?
How are we on time? Where are we? We're at
says
6:54.
that it-
Yes, one more would be perfect, Mark. That'll take us up to
wonder
about an
what
hour.
we'll-
Perfect.
Well, let's see here. Oh, I was going to do an instrumental, but I was going to do another vocal song because I've been writing more. But I think I owe you an instrumental because I think we've done 3 vocal songs and 1 instrumental. Anyway, we're short on instrumental.
Yeah, do an instrumental. That'd be great. That'd be great.
So this is sort of a double header. It's a 1-minute piece called Blue, followed by a 3-minute piece called Icicles. And the Icicles, I'm from back east, and you know, anybody who's been back east or up in the mountains here in California knows how the icicles hang from the eaves of the buildings, and then when springtime comes, they all start to drip from the little tips of the icicles, and it makes a little tinkly sort of icicle music. So Icicles was inspired by that icicle music that happens in the early spring. So Blue and then Icicles. Hope you like it.
Just wonderful, Mark. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you like it.
Folks, a hand for Mark Lemaire. Capital E, capital L, small e, M-A-I-R-E. All those letters are small. Capital
It
L.
rhymes with your hair.
That's
Or
right. And
the
it means
mayor.
the mayor. Sometime in the past it meant the mayor.
Or
I just
the
learned that
illegitimate baby.
Or that.
The
Trying to help you
illegitimate
out here,
baby
Mark.
also, I'm not sure which more I feel more at home with. but-
Why choose? That's what I say. Presented with options so fabulous like that, why choose?
and,
Well, thank you very much, Mark Lemaire. Where can folks find more of your stuff? Have you got a .com?
Well, sure. You just look up my name. Google my name. It's Mark with a K. L-E-M as in mother, A-I-R-E. And it'll take you to YouTube videos, and somewhere in that list is the Mark Lemaire website, which is just marklemaire.com. And you will soon discover everything about me, including things that you probably don't really want to know. So just look at the website and then go to the YouTube videos where I'm at my best.
And where you might see him listed as Montana Mark Lemaire. Yeehaw.
Oh, and I should point out my charming and beautiful wife who sings with me.
And you sound fabulous together.
Yeah, we do. And we so miss performing live. This weekend is our first live gig in front of human beings down at the San Gregorio General Store.
Oh, fantastic. Good for you.
You know that gig, right?
Oh, I do. That's a great spot.
It is. You go to the San Gregorio and you stand there and look at the ocean, and then you realize that the only sign of life nearby is the general store, which is the weirdest and most wonderful place in the world.
Isn't it, though?
And we're playing outdoors because they're not bringing us inside. You can
Oh, is
go
that
inside
right?
and get a, yep, you can drink. This is a place where you can go at 10 in the morning and have a Bloody Mary. And many people do.
It's an old post office and general store. And if
So
you've
beautiful.
never been there, folks, it's Highway 1 down to Highway 84. Head inland for a mile, or if you're coming down off of Skyline, just 84 towards the ocean, and just a mile before you get to the beach is the San Gregorio General Store. And this weekend, are you playing Saturday or Sunday, Mark?
Sunday from noon to 2.
Sunday, noon to 2. It's a great spot, and if you've never been there, take yourself out on a road trip. Could you stand getting out of the house for a while? I'm guessing yes.
People love to take that trip. You see bicyclists with their sort of modern, spaceship suits and their brightly
It's
colored
the insect
tights.
people, we call them.
The insect people. And then you also see people with their fancy cars. The guy who takes his Ferrari out every Sunday and he parks there
Yeah.
and stands and sort of preens and waits for people to come over and say, "Is that a Ferrari?"
Is he
And-
still there? He's still there, huh?
There are other people too. They have like fancy car tours. You'll see like 20 Porsches pulling all at once.
Yeah.
And you yourself can drink and go inside. And George Cattermole is the guy who runs the place. It's not just a store. It's an incredible place, and it's worth it to just drive by and stop there and see all the stuff that he's selling, the weird, unusual communist books
Yes,
and
yes.
frying pans and
You can't find them everywhere.
work clothes that, and you can drink alcohol and watch us play from 12 to 2.
It's a
out in the
fantastic,
parking lot.
what a fantastic idea. That's just great. And George is quite a character himself. You just start him off, just kind of mentions your favorite philosopher or politician from the past, 2,000 years, and off he'll go, and you'll be on a tour that the likes of which you'll never do again.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true, but he's a retired philosophy professor from
That's
some
my understanding as
university.
well, from Stanford,
Right.
yeah.
So, but he knows where his priorities are. He wants to open a general store out in the middle of nowhere on Route 1. That's better than being a professor at Stanford
Yes,
by
it
a
is.
long way.
Good on you, George. Yeah.
Yes. So, thank you for having me, Stevie.
Oh, it was a great pleasure.
and,
Thanks, Mark.
of course, and Valerie in the distance there. Off, I hear her. Yes, a pleasure to have you host us. Us meaning me and my guitar.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Mark Lemaire.
And
Folks,
thank you for everybody who came out tonight.
you bet. And
Tuned in.
there were several. It's been great. Thank you to you folks, too. And folks, one more round of applause for Mark Lemaire.
And
That was really terrific, Mark. Thank you very much.
And for being your own engineer. Well, you and Valerie, making all of this interview stuff and split screen stuff happen.
That's
pretty
2 snaps
amazing.
up, man. We got it wired. I think after a year and a half, we're catching on. You know.
And my next trip is to the yogurt store. I'll leave you with this. I make my own yogurt. You know how to do that, right? You ever make your own yogurt from milk?
No, milk and I'm lactose intolerant as anyone.
Oh,
can
then
tell.
never mind.
No, but please,
I will-
for those that can tolerate being around people that are drinking and eating milk products.
Do you like sourdough bread?
I do. That I like, yeah.
Okay, so you know what sourdough starter is.
Right, sure.
Right.
Little organisms.
I have a friend who's been making sourdough bread for 30 years, and he still has the same sourdough starter. One piece of bread starts the next, one loaf of bread starts the next one. He's named his sourdough, I forget what name it is. Anyway, I've been naming my yogurt, and today I killed Bob by mistake.
No.
I ate the last of my yogurt. I meant to save the last few spoonfuls to start a new thing of yogurt.
Yeah.
Now I have to go to the store and buy some actual yogurt so that I can make more yogurt.
Oh,
Bob
no.
is
Bob, how old was Bob when he passed?
not that long. I mean, I've only been doing this for about 8 or 10 months.
Oh, okay.
But,
Not
but
30
now I have to
years,
start
right.
over again. It's like,
Yeah.
Losing my sobriety birthday.
That's
I have to start over now.
Oh, golly. Go get some yogurt, for God's sake, Mark. You're not going to
Start
sleep with this
again.
on your mind tonight. You got to take care of this.
Yeah, I'm going to go to my 12-step meeting and confess that I ate yogurt, or that I didn't kill Bob so much as I incorporated him into my body.
That's right. That's right. You absorbed him. And
Yes,
now you
but-
don't have to pay for his college. So worked out all.
I'll never
Fine.
grow up.
You don't
Anyway.
have to.
So
never
I
go to
left
school.
I told this story so that you guys would feel glad to move on to the next part of your day. I'm done making music. I'm only going to tell stupid stories now.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Mark Lemaire. Delightful,
pleasure.
lovely evening. Thank you very much. Folks,
great
Mark
pleasure.
Lemaire. And there he goes. Bye, Mark. Safe travels out there. Well, all right. How about that? That was just terrific. I hope you had a great time. I had a great time. These Monday night things will continue, but the next Monday night thing won't be for a couple of Monday nights, I'm afraid. Just stuff that needs doing that happens to fall on Monday nights. The next one, though, will be back up and rocking on May 31st with a guitarist the likes of which you may never have heard before or seen before. A gentleman named John Mendel, who actually Mark Lemaire has engineered for on a project or two, I just found out. He'll be joining us playing ancient music on ancient stringed instruments. Fascinating cat. He's a recent transplant to our little burg of Lafayette here, and it'll be a real treat to host him here on the Monday night thing. And on into the spring and the summer, you'll find more fabled guitarists, Michael Chapdelaine, Kinlaw Nelson, Nate Lopez, Vicky Genfan, Peppino D'Agostino, on and on and on. Here's one last glimpse of the tip jar information. And please know that all monies will be split by me and Mark Lemaire, and yes, every little bit helps. So no donation too small or too large. Well, thank you again, Mark Lemaire. Thank you to Sammy Spear and his orchestra, the June Taylor Dancers, and mostly big thanks to executive producer, my own dear Miss Valerie May. And huge thanks to all y'all for tuning in, for your kind donations, and for spreading the word about Stevie Coyle's Monday night thing. Good night, America. Good afternoon tomorrow, Australia.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.
I won't step on your glasses.
Make love with a guitar. If you should meet her, sweet senorita, romance with a guitar. And when you find her, the strings will bind her Make love with a guitar, always the right time, daylight or night time. Ah, she'll not withstand it, and as I planned it,
Still not
she'll
getting
say,
Facebook comments over here.
I love you.
On the computer, on the eCam. No.
On my guitar, I strike a chord like this. It always brings a kiss. I never miss. Speaking of love, you can go very far, no matter who you are. If you play a guitar, if you play a guitar. I always get a kiss. I never miss. You can go very far, no matter who you are, if you play a guitar. Make love with a guitar, always the right time, daylight or night time. Oh, she'll not withstand it, and as I play